Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome biggity back, y'all. Hey, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you're not new here, then it's just welcome back. My name is Kelsi, and I have lost 115 pounds using the help of my tool, the gastric sleeve. It's my hope that through my videos you're able to find the answers to questions you've been looking for, or the path to choosing surgical weight loss is made that much easier. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get right into the video. As you can see from the title, it is another things I wish I would have known before gastric sleeve surgery, or just weight loss surgery in general. I'm a year and a half out and there are lots of things that I wish that I would have known prior to surgery that are good and bad. It doesn't make me change my mind on the decision to have surgery, but it definitely is an eye-opener, and it takes that rose-colored, veil off of the entire thing, and it really brings an air of reality, an air of just realism to the entire process. So we're going to get into the first reason, and I didn't start experiencing this, I don't feel like, until maybe 10-12 months out, a year out. Your hormones are going to be out of whack. The more weight that you lose, the more estrogen and other different hormonal chemicals you'll release. And this is for men and for women. This is not just a woman patient thing. It's for across the board. For me, I found myself getting angry for no reason. I was sad for no reason. Just really up and down. I couldn't find a happy medium some days. And there was nothing that triggered it. There was nothing that made me sad or happy. It just happened. And even with depression, I struggle from a little bit of depression. It seemed to get a little bit worse at times, but I will say that now, a year and a half out, it has gotten significantly better. I do have some days where I'm kind of up and down, I'm kind of angry for no reason, but it does kind of phase and pass on. So it hasn't wreaked that much havoc in my life. I will say that if you are, experiencing something like that and it hasn't gotten any better, but it has gotten progressively worse and you're over a year and a half out, definitely speak with your surgeon or your primary care provider to see if there's anything they can do to assist you with that. Now, this next one is strictly for women. Your period is going to change. If you didn't have one, more than likely you are now going to have one. For me, prior to my surgery, as I've told you guys, I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I rarely had a period. I would go like almost a year, I think was the longest that I went without a period. Now, every month, some random day, I get a period. It's random. It's, some days it's 7 days, sometimes it's 7 days, some days it's 3 days, some days it's a day and a half. It's really just crazy. My gynecologist did tell me that over time it will even out and kind of like find its rhythm again. But I guess it's really exciting to me to now have a constant and a consistent cycle, because it was scary knowing that me as a woman in childbearing years was not having a cycle. I'm still not sure if I can have children. I do not believe that I can. I'm, praying that one day maybe God will bless me with a child, but if not, it's okay. But definitely, your periods and the cycle, even if you were normal at one point in time, your body may be like, and they just happen whenever. So just know that your period is going to change. The next one is eating is going to suck. Food is going to suck. You will never, ever have the same relationship with food that you once have. So you can go ahead, pack it up, with the little part of your stomach they cut off, or, whatever they fix whenever they did your bypass or your sleeve. Go ahead and pack up that relationship you have with food and send it on packing. You will never look at food the same. You will never be able to, indulge in food the way you once did, because that's no longer how your life is. Even at a year and a half out, I cannot eat certain things. In the beginning, I never truly felt satisfied. I never felt like I was getting enough. I never felt like I was like, I have all this food and I can't eat anything. And it was nothing, So I never felt satisfied. I never felt full. But eventually, I became, more desensitized to not being able to eat 55 pounds of food. And eating smaller portions became a more normal thing for me, and I began to become satiated because that is what I can eat. The difference now and then, I was used to eating big portions. I was used to eating, a full whatever. And now, only eating a few bites of this and a few bites of that is fine because I understand. It gets better, but your relationship with food will never be the same. So go ahead, kiss them goodbye. I love you. But for me, it has never been the same, and I am perfectly okay with that. The next thing that goes along with food as well, your taste buds are going to change. Things that you loved before your surgery, you're not going to like it all now. For me, I hated cucumbers before my surgery. I hated them. When I say I could not stand cucumbers for the life of me, when I could not, I would gag.
Here, drink.
Now, as you guys see in my videos, I eat them whole. A whole cucumber. I mean, it's crazy. There are things that I loved that I cannot eat, that I choose not to eat. Like, I used to love, like, the Little Debbie zebra cakes. And just for fun one day, I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can eat this and see how it tastes to me. I don't know if you guys have seen the episode of SpongeBob where Squidward is trying that Krabby Patty, and he takes the smallest little micro bite. And I did that, and I was like, this is not for me. This is not for, let me go on and throw this away. Can't stand them. So your taste buds are going to change, but that's normal, and you'll get used to it. The next thing that I do want to kind of hone in on is your hair will fall out. Some people will experience it a little more severe. Other people not so much. For me, mine in the crown and in my edge area was very severe. I am still rebuilding my hair from that time, but taking biotin, and different supplements to help you aid the regrowth of your hair is crucial. Also, trimming your hair, like the longer sections of hair, to make it an even, maybe a bob or a cut of that nature, it will help to make your hair seem more full and also boost the volume. But there's nothing that you can do to stop your hair from falling out. You can keep it from being so severe by making sure that you meet your protein goals, you're taking your vitamins, you're drinking your water, and that you add in like a collagen and an additional biotin supplement into your regimen. You can't stop it. It's going to happen. So just be prepared. Like I said, no one really knows what's going to happen to them or how it's going to happen or how severe it's going to be, but we can prepare ourselves. And I don't want to tell you, you're not going to lose your hair. You're not going to lose your hair. Your hair is going to stay beautiful. And, even if you don't lose a lot, it's like your hair loses its luster. It's like my hair, it just seems so dry, so brittle. It just wasn't very pretty. I'm struggling to get it back there, but slowly but surely we're getting there. But I don't want to give you an unrealistic expectation and tell you you're not going to lose your hair. That's not true. You are going to lose hair because you are not getting the amount of nutrients that you got from the food before. And, although we are taking vitamins and, protein supplements and things of that nature, it's still not enough to compensate for what we're losing. So like I said, it just depends on what your body and, what your body does, how your body reacts to the surgery and all of that. It can be severe, it can be, moderate, it can be high. But just be prepared and know that it is going to happen and there's nothing you can do to stop it. But as long as you're prepared, I feel like if you can see something coming, you can better prepare yourself opposed to getting there and then not knowing, and then you're like me and you're just bald and you're losing your mind. So yeah. I'm going to get more into the physical thing, like as far as weight loss goes. For me, the hardest thing for me to understand was you are going to lose inches before you lose pounds, or you will lose inches without the pounds. There was a time, and I'm sure a lot of you guys that have been with me from the beginning know that I would step on that scale and I would lose it, because in 5 days I haven't dropped a pound, I haven't lost anything, I am still out here just weighing 396,000 pounds. What is wrong with me? But what I wasn't doing, I wasn't measuring the areas of my body, because I wasn't losing weight on the scale, but I was losing inches. So don't get disturbed. I cannot talk. Do not get discouraged if you are not losing pounds as rapidly as you think you are. Your body is still working. You are still moving that weight off. Do not get discouraged. Measure your body. I'll put a link in my description box below to a wonderful it's like a inches tracking sheet that I started using, and that would help me on days when I wasn't losing weight. I'm not losing weight, but I lost an inch and a half in my midsection. Like, to me, that made up for a pound. So don't get discouraged. Just know that if you're not losing pounds, you're more than likely losing inches. Piggybacking along with that, you are going to stall. You are going to stall. You are going to stall. You will stall. You are going to stall. The stall, you will. There will be stalls. And I say that like that because, I see a lot of questions. I get a lot of emails from people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm not losing weight. What am I doing wrong? I'm 3 months out. I'm not losing weight. This is going to fail for me. And I tell this all the time, and I tell it in a joking manner. When I started stalling out, I felt like I was going to be the only person in the world that this surgery did not work for. I felt like I was going to be the one out of, however many 100,000 people who have this surgery a year that it's not going to work for, because I'm 3 months out. I'm not losing any weight. What is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? And you are going to stall. Drink your water. Keep pushing. Stay healthy. Do not lose sight of your goal, and you'll get to where you're going fine. Don't allow a stall to completely knock you off your track. Trust me, it's okay. You're going to stall. You're going to stall. You are going to stall. Stall, you will. Expect it. Drink water. Stay healthy. Next thing I want to talk about is how sex is going to change for you. Sex is going to change for you, and it's my sincere hope that it becomes better. It becomes more comfortable. You become more comfortable. You're able to do different things, wear different things, do it in different areas, be really grown about yourself. But there is a flip side to that. It may also not be as comfortable for you, with the changes because of the hormonal chemicals that are going to be released. Sometimes people experience negative sexual lives after the weight loss. Some of their, how do you say, your lubrication is not as bountiful as it once was, and that is something you definitely need to speak to your gynecologist or your provider about, because it's going to happen. Not for everyone, but in some cases, yes, it does. And unfortunately, it's a two-sided coin. For some people, it's great. They have no issues. They have no problems. And then there's some people that run into a little bit of a stall or an issue. But it can be fixed. It's something that you just need to speak with your provider about. Don't get upset. Just make it do what it do. Until then, get you some Astroglide. The silicone one works great. Hey, they have lots of little things now that help with that. Don't get discouraged. Talk to your primary care provider, and it will get better. But hopefully, overall, sex gets, it's up here for you. You're hitting the roof. Hopefully, you are living your best life after VSG as far as sex goes. I hope your sexual health is great. So the next thing I want to talk about is how you see yourself is going to be completely different than it was before you had your surgery. For me, I have always been the fat friend. I have always been the big one. I have always been the super morbidly obese friend. I have always been the fat girl that comes along with the cute girls to the party that no one really wanted to talk to or deal with. I was just a fat girl in the back. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still big. I am still heavy. But how I look at myself now compared to how I looked at myself a year and a half ago, it's a completely different story. I am so thankful for it. It's gonna take time, because there are still days where I look at myself and I'm like, I am so big, but yet I'm 115 pounds smaller. So the way that you look at yourself, the way you feel about yourself is going to be completely different, and it's a process. It's going to take a while for you to digest and understand that this is a different you. You are building an entire different perception of yourself, and woo, that's a journey. That is a self-discovery journey. If I haven't been on one yet, I am telling you. But it's a positive thing. It is growth. And some of it may hurt because you're so used to being the big one. You're so used to being the one who is, seen as less attractive, or seen as, or is overlooked, or whatever. But that changes because you are now kind of coming to the front, and they're like, ooh, who is this dashing diva or divo, handsome young fella, in this group, they are so attractive to me. And at least for me, that's new. I've always been told I was pretty, or you are so pretty for a bigger woman, or you're pretty for a black.
Excuse me, bitch.
Girl, that's a whole different, story. But you're beautiful. I will be like, oh, I'm so big. Oh, but you're beautiful. I'm not saying I'm not pretty. I'm saying I'm big. So looking at myself now compared to then, the way that I feel with my clothes, the way I feel about myself, my presence in a room, I don't feel like I have to try and make myself smaller figuratively because my weight preceded itself. So I feel like that is something that changes, or that I wish I would have known was going to change after my surgery. And once again, piggybacking right off, these are all just like kind of like flowing together. You are going to realize that after your surgery, people treat you differently. And this could be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing on two different scales. It's going to show you how real fat shaming is, and it's going to show you how people treat you differently because you are smaller. For instance, there was a store that I used to frequent. And the way that I am built, I have very small extremities. I'm a very small girl. I'm a petite, I'm a dainty gal. But my midsection has always been bigger because of the PCOS. And there was a particular store that I would go in, and no matter what I picked up, and I did, and I kind of listened to make sure that I wasn't just tripping. But this person would say to me, just so you know, our clothes, they run a little small. And there's a no return policy. And I'm like, okay, I know what I'm buying. I've shopped here before. You don't have to tell me that every time. But every time I would come and purchase items from the store, this particular clerk would say the same thing to me, but not to anyone else. And I'm like, you don't have to keep telling me that. I get that. And so now I go there and I purchase, clothing or whatever. And the person just rings me out. All right, you have a good day. But I did hear her tell another young lady who was heavy, the same way that I was heavy, oh yeah, by the way, our clothes do run small and there's a no return policy on them. It's just little small things like that. Just because I'm heavy, I am aware that I am heavy. You don't have to tell me that. You don't have to bring that to my attention that the clothing may not fit. Duh. I know that. But it's crazy how people will do that. I don't know if it's like a subconscious thing or a covert thing, or maybe it's an overt thing. Shame you for being big, but it definitely puts into perspective how people treat you, and it will actually show you who your real friends are. So that's something to think about, something to digest. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it definitely shows you who your real friends are and who really support. All right, we almost getting there, y'all. We almost getting there. The next thing that I feel like we need to address, and people may not talk about this, because you have lost weight, and when I say you, it's an understood you, it's a we thing. You're gonna find yourself judging other fat people because of their choices. Stop it. Don't be that person, Kelsi. And when I say judging, you're like, girl, you don't need to eat that. Like, come on, like, don't pile your buffet plate up that big. Like, girl, you don't need a Whopper. Don't do that. You don't need that Snicker. Like, come on, let's do better. And you may not say that out loud to them, but in your mind you may be saying it. And it may just be out of a concern or a place of like, that person shouldn't be doing that. I wish they wouldn't do that. But it's not your business. So the same way that when you were heavier, or that you are heavy and you don't want people judging you or talking about your life decisions or your food decisions, don't do that, Kelsi. and when I say I do that, I'm always thinking from a care perspective. I'm always thinking in a person's better interest perspective. Never a judging like, ooh, she's fat. Never that. It's always, oh, girl, you gotta stop or you're gonna be like me, or hey, you're as big as I was, let's not eat that. So if you find yourself doing that, reroute your thinking, allow them to live their life. Even though we made the decision to pursue medical weight loss, there are people still struggling with their weight. There are people still struggling with their, emotional eating, overeating disorders, binging, all of that. Just, if you find yourself doing it, and you probably will, stop it. Last but not least, we are going to talk about how self-comparison can make you fail. Comparing yourself to other people will make you fail. I cannot tell you how many times, even today, I get on my page. I'm so happy and so thrilled to see you guys' story, to see how wonderful you're doing. You guys fucking look great. You guys are losing weight. You guys are out here busting your ass in the gym. You're eating healthy. You're showing your meals. You're showing your pants that are 10 sizes bigger than you are now. But I can't lie to you guys and say that I am not discouraged when I see someone who has the same starting weight as me, 330 some odd pounds, and 8 months into their surgery, they're 150 pounds down. Sometimes I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like, what is wrong with me? I should have done better. I didn't lose enough weight. I suck. I suck. I suck. And I really had to tailor my mind and try and think of the positive things that I can do. I look fucking good. And, you know, don't take that as a conceited or a stuck on myself type of thing. I look fucking good because I look good. I am proud of myself. Yes, there are some things that I want to get worked on. I want to get to where they, you know, need to be. But I am proud of myself for doing what I did, for losing the weight and sticking to my regimen afterwards. Self-comparison is the biggest obstacle that I feel like we as bariatric patients, you know, have to climb over. We have to, you know, realize that everyone's journey is not our journey. Not my journey, not my time. I've said it in another video before. Be happy for a fellow bariatric patient. Be happy for the progress that they've made. Don't compare yourself. Don't feel like you're less than them. Don't feel like you're better than them. You know, you may look at my story and be like, damn, you know, I was 330 pounds. Now I'm 140. Like, you know, don't look down on me because I didn't lose as much as you. Be happy that I lost the weight and I made the choice to have the surgery to begin with. Anyways, I think I have talked enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a few more things that I have learned along the way after my surgery that I wish I would have known I was going to learn after my surgery, because they have been it's been such an enriching experience to have the surgery, because you really get to know who you truly are. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I love you guys to the moon and back. If you have not and you would like to be, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Become a member of my family. I would love to have you here. Also, if you have not, head on over to my Facebook group, One Bite at a Time. It's a safe place to talk about hard things. I don't know what this is. Is it goggles? Anyway, safe place to talk about hard things. Lots of cool people over there. You're going to meet all of the moderators. I'm in there from time to time, hearting and liking pictures. Don't post as much as I should, but I am there. I am watching, and I love you guys so much. Be good to each other, but most importantly, be good to yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.